Good evening.
Good evening.
City of Jasper, agenda, public notice, regular call city council meeting Monday, April 14th, Jasper City Hall, 465 South Main Street. It is now 6 p.m. Meeting will be called to order. Mr. Hancock, to give us some prayer, please.
Please bow your heads with me. Father, we just thank you for this day. We thank you because this is the day that you have made, Lord. And you said we can rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you for the citizens of Jasper. Thank you that this is the jewel of the forest. And thank you for our employees, our council, our mayor. Bless us to have peace in our hearts and your spirit as we do your will tonight. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Next, we have for council members information from SRMPA and SCTRPC. Nothing to say on that, council. We'll move on to departmental reports.
Mayor, I have something.
Mr. Kelly.
Mayor, council, I'd like to, tonight, to introduce our new librarian. Lindsay Cox is here tonight. Lindsay, if you stand. She is a hometown. She graduated from Jasper High School, moved off, and she was assistant librarian in Navasota. She come back home to take over the Jasper Library. One of her dreams, she said. So, you want to say anything about
I grew up in this library, so I'm very happy to be here just to help it grow. And I hope to see all of you eventually walk through our doors. So thank you for having me.
Glad to have you.
Just want to let you know that I did see Bert on Friday. Bert Miller, the mayor of Minnesota. Yeah, he did mention that you were going to be here. So I was at a conference there on Friday, so Bert did say he hated to let you go. But I told him thank you.
Mayor, council, I also want to introduce one of our new employees. He's been with us about 3 months. He recently got cut loose from his FTO, so he's just on his own. He came from us from the sheriff's office. I think he worked as a patrol deputy for about a year, 9 months. This is Daniel Coombs. He's 27. He lives here inside the city of Jasper. I don't think he's planning on going anywhere.
All right, Daniel, welcome.
And he's already had an accommodation from a citizen of how professional he's been.
Good, very good. Welcome, Daniel. Anything else? Any other departmental reports from any other departments? Okay, any public comments, City Secretary? Just want to, for the public, please understand that the City Council cannot discuss any presented issue, nor can it take any action on any issue at this time, except that a statement of fact, including policy, may be made if responsive to an issue. That's Attorney General's opinion, JC 0169. All right, we'll move on to items for discussion and or action. Item number 1, consider for approval one set of minutes, regular call city council meeting from March 10th, 2025. Can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
We have a motion to approve. Can we get a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion on the minutes? Any corrections? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously 3-0. Just to let everyone know, DeMarcus Holmes is not here this evening. I guess he did decall, said he would not be here.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, item number 2. Consider for approval, City of Jasper first quarter investment reports. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion to approve. Can I get a second? We have a second. Any further discussion on this? Can we get a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
No opposed? Motion passes. Item number 3, consider for approval, the electric meter system replacement with Tantalus.
Mayor, Mr. Jared Taylor's here to discuss it.
Thank you. Hey, Jared.
I believe I have the next 2 items. So the first one, for the electric meter replacement, this is something that the city has been discussing for the past few months, looking at different options. And as I am aware, the existing meter system is aging and they're having trouble with replacement parts and other items. So wanting to update their system, they're looking at proposals for trying to put in new meters as well as the transmitters and other materials that would be required to update the system. And part of the advantages for updating the system is that the PUC is requesting more reporting and an outage management system for each of the utilities. They haven't actually passed that law yet, but they are proposing that. So the city of Jasper was looking at especially an outage management system in order to help with the future, especially for storm recovery projects. And that's why we are looking at this. It would also help with restoration monitoring and also with disconnects and reconnects if those are regularly done. So for that reason, we have gotten together an estimate for what it would take, and we're looking at a project of just a little over $2.5 million. And that's why we're presenting this to the council for you guys to review.
Greg or Lee, what's your take on this? For those of you who don't know, this is Lee Wellman, our electrical department.
Mayor, council, this is something that we really need. Like I said, the meters, the way we're reading them now, we're having trouble getting readings off of them. We currently have a drive-by system where the transmitter just transmits out to the road. Like I said, the way we read them is drive-by with a computer. And like I said, all the software that we use and stuff like that is aging. Can't get parts for it anymore.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions from council? Okay, thank you. All right, we'll move on this item before we move to the next one. Jared, you can wait. Can we get a motion to approve?
I make the motion.
We have a motion to approve. Can we get a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Say aye. Motion passes. No opposed. Item number 4, consider for approval, bid received to replace circuit switch and transmission switches for adjacent substation.
Yes, sir. These are items that we desperately need to be replaced. One of the circuit switchers has malfunctioned and is no longer operable, which means that we do not have a backup at the adjacent substation for one of the transformers. So right now we are only running off of one transformer. If there were to be a problem with that or a problem with the other switch, then it would be an emergency state to where if you're in a high load part of the year, like the summer that's coming up, that there could be outages that affect the entire city. And that's our main concern, and that's why we want to try to get this completed as soon as possible. Problem with this is that this equipment has very long lead time, 70 weeks. So that's why we're looking for approval for this, because we want to try and order it as soon as possible.
Thank you very much. For those in the audience who know, for transparency, if adjacent substation is located where?
It's located on East Milan, over at Fletcher Street. Fletcher and East Milan is the intersection that would be closest to it. And it is the main intertie substation that ties in with Entergy's transmission system. And so that's where most of the power is fed for the city out of that substation.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Taylor?
I do. The The tantalus system, Greg, that's the one that we spoke about that will allow everyone to see the outages and things of that nature. This is gonna update everything and help people know when their electricity is out, where the outages are, just like Entergy, right? That's gonna bring us up to date with the other cities, correct?
Yes, ma'am, that should be part of the outage management system that we can institute to where you would be able to see any meter, whether it's out or whether it's on. The computer system that they would install and set up would be able to show all of that. And they also talked about the possibility of setting up a website to be able to, for the customers, to also be able to look at that as well, just like Entergy has whenever you have an outage. And that's who provides service for my home. So I can go on Entergy's website and I can look and I can see, yeah, this whole area is out at the moment, and then be able to get a restoration time based on that.
If I could just ask one more question. You said we would be in an emergency situation, so if it goes out, then what would you guys do?
We would have to take an outage on the transmission, and then we would have to hardwire around the switches in order to get power back on. So we do have a plan, but what that also means is if there is any kind of surge or any storm that comes through, instead of it tripping out and us being able to restore it, it would trip at Entergy substation, which is north of town, and then we would have to wait on Entergy to re-initialize, re-energize the transmission. So outages would be longer, but we do have a plan in place in case something like that happens.
All right.
I have something. This, meter, or you're talking about electric meter, I understood from Greg this morning, will also read the water meter.
The tantalus system, they set up the communication part.
Okay.
So, the way it is, the electric meters are Itron that the city has and that you can replace. And then Tantalus has their communicator that they connect onto that meter. They also make the same communicators that will work for the water meters as well, so that they can combine that in one system.
So when it's reading at my house, it'll read the electric and the water coming down here.
Yes, sir. The way they work, one bounces off the other. So if you have a water meter in your front yard, that'll send the signal to your electric meter, which has continuous power, because water meters, they run off batteries. So to conserve the battery and make it to where you're not running out there and replacing the battery every year, it's gonna send out signal just intermittently. The electric meter has continuous power because the power's running through it. And so they put a stronger transmitter on it. So it'll bounce the signal to the electric meters, and then the electric meters can then send a stronger signal to be able to send out for the whole system.
It's amazing.
It is amazing what they can do nowadays.
We and him talked about it this morning, but I just thought I'd just ask.
Yes, sir.
Any further questions from council? Thank you, Jared.
Thank you.
Okay. As I stated, consider for approval, C bid to replace the switches, transmission switches for Jason State Substation. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Can I get a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion on this matter? All in favor, say aye. No opposed. Motion passes. Item number 5. Consider for approval, interlocal agreement between San Jacinto Sheriff's Department and City of Jasper Police Department regarding a watchdog server. Chief Foster.
What this is about 2 months ago, Lieutenant Hadnot was at a class with a representative from San Jacinto's Sheriff's Department, and they advised him that their server had gotten struck by lightning. They don't have the money to afford it, which means right now they don't have any body cameras or anything else when they do it, which is a pretty big no-no. We upgraded all our stuff to Axon, so we have that WatchGuard server sitting there that's really basically just wasting away. So I was gonna ask for an interlocal agreement so we could basically loan it to them for pretty much an indefinite time, but loan it to them, but since it's not being used in my system.
Will we need that for anything, or?
So it's dedicated to WatchGuard too. There's nothing
Nothing
It's a
we
watch
can-
guard server.
Okay.
Something that-
Or we loan them something.
Yeah. Help them get out of bind. All my stuff's new, it's, they've actually on this, is.
Is that indefinitely, or you just, or just?
Well, it can always be, once they get theirs back, I
Okay.
think they'll probably get our stuff back. But
Okay.
like I said, right now, they don't have, they're trying to raise funds, and everything else, they just don't have it.
I have a quick question, Mr. Foster. On the first page of the agreement, beneath recitals, the third whereas paragraph, the second line after sheriff's office 2. What's supposed to follow that?
I just sent it to them, I had it wrote, and they, I think kinda edited it. So, right here. Third paragraph?
The third whereas, yes. You see what I'm talking about? It's almost like somebody fell, hit their head, and tried to write a Valentine's card.
Yeah, it's probably borrowed, they, like I said, they edited, there was 2 different pages of this stuff, and they kinda edited it into one.
Okay.
GLYMW, is that what you saw that?
It's probably borrowed.
You saw
Okay.
that too? Yeah.
Fair enough.
Any further comments or questions from the chief? Okay, thank you, Chief Foster. Okay, can we get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion
We
to
have a
approve.
motion to approve, can we get a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion on this matter? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Item number 6, consider for approval, advertising a second time seeking sealed bids for 210 Premier Drive. 0 bids received for the first advertisement, right?
Mayor and council, last month we talked about, we was gonna do what the appraised value was for the Decog building, which was $955. We did not receive any bids, so I'm coming back to y'all to see where would y'all like to do the minimum bid at, and we re-advertise again for the building,
What was the appraised value?
$955.
Let me ask this, Greg, how many postings or notices were placed into?
We've run it in the newspaper, and I talked to 3 or 4 people that's been interested in talking to us about it.
Well, I think we all agreed that it was likely that we wouldn't get any bites, but it certainly wasn't gonna sell for $950. So I think obviously we need to post it again, but I'm thinking along the lines of not even a hard or a firm minimum, but a preferred minimum, but make it realistic. Cause I don't think any of us wanna see it sitting out there for 3 or 4 years. I mean, it's already in disrepair.
The
To a
building's in
point.
pretty good shape, except the north wall.
Yes, exactly.
And then how much do you think it would take if someone did, wanna purchase the building?
If we, say it's the city was gonna keep it,
Mm-hmm.
and we was gonna do something with it like that, that is this has a metal structure, those walls are not load bearing. I would take that north wall and just take it down and replace it. It was never installed with any insulation or anything in those cinder blocks, and so it sweats inside that wall.
Yeah.
And that's been the whole problem
Sure,
for that building for a long time. So I figured it'd be at least a couple $100,000 fix.
yes.
So would you think that, let's see, you said 955, somewhere around in the 600,000 range?
That's,
Is that realistic?
yes, sir, we get on the tax roll, and we're ever going to set that as a possibility. If somebody comes in higher, or if somebody comes in lower, we'll bring it back, we don't make a decision on it.
I just wanna be sure that we don't put it so low that the citizens won't get the investment back. A lot of them.
Y'all
that we
gonna
put
have to,
into it.
y'all gonna have to take a little bit, like if somebody comes in and puts 200,000 on it, y'all don't wanna sell it for you, just turn it down.
Mm-hmm.
We're not, held to that bid.
Cause 6 is kind of pretty good jump from 955. And it's been for a month, for just 30 days.
ran it for 2 weeks in the paper. And we, like I say, had several calls and had several companies interested in it, different people interested in it. But they don't wanna pay that full price for it, I don't think.
So what would you recommend?
I mean, it's a 600-700 range, if you wanna try that.
In my head,
Mhm.
and just using my own comparisons, I've got 675 to 7.25.
I'll make an emotion, we can put it in there for, go out for bids for that range somewhere, it'd be the, if you wanna do 685 or 725, whatever y'all wanna do.
I think 6 is too big a jump from 955, the last appraisal. That's too big a jump for me, Mr. Sample.
Yeah, about 7.5 will be okay.
You need to understand that that's just
I
an
understand what
appraisal,
you-
that's just an appraisal.
Get-
I'm
just
aware.
get out one.
I'm aware.
I'm just saying that that's an
And that's
appraisal.
a good price, I mean, anywhere between 6 and 725, I mean,
Just get out one.
If you list it or advertise it 725 again, and we just cite it as being a preferred minimum, I mean,
I can do that, not a hard bottom.
I don't think anyone's gonna bid more than the preferred minimum anyway.
Mhm.
We can do that.
So, do we need to make a motion?
Yeah, I think we need to put that in the form of a motion to set up for approval to advertising it for bids. Wanna make a motion for that amount?
I make
Yeah,
a
make a motion for
motion,
that amount.
we submit a second offering at a preferred minimum
Preferred
of
minimum.
725.
Okay, we have a motion, can we get a second? Second?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this matter? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. We'll put that out for bid, seal bids at, what do you say, LaQuinn? Preferred minimum of 725, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Consider for approval, approve the recommended bid for the water line improvement project.
This was a project started back in the end of 23. We started doing the footwork on it. The council set aside the money for this already through the water fund. We went out for bids. We, actually got 9 bidders. The low bidder in their qualification packet and everything did not fill in some information, didn't give us everything. And so we're asking to go with the second low bid for this. They're a known contractor we've used before. The first we don't know a whole lot about. The engineer did some investigating on it. He also recommended the second bid. And that's what we're bringing back to y'all to approve the bid.
So from 1.9 to 1.7 to 1.9,
It's
what was the problem with RDR?
It's $128,000 different. They bid through a different contractor, and they are doing only 50% of the work. It's all subs doing 50% of the work. And they, have quite a few jobs going, and understanding that this is a 240-day job completion. And I don't know if they can get to it quick enough to get this job done. I don't want the prices to go up. It could cost us more in the long run, or some of the other. And, sometimes when you go with unknown contractor, you don't know what you're getting. The second, third, and fourth place, all have we've used before. Actually, the fifth place too. So we've used them and they've done good work too.
Any further questions for the city manager on this item? So you recommend, Alco
Yes.
LLC? Okay, so we'll consider for approval, approve the recommended bid for the water line improvement project with Alco LLC of 1.9. Can we get a motion on that?
I make a motion.
We have a motion, can we get a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion on this matter? All in favor say aye. No opposed, motion passes. Item number 8, consider for approval of orders providing for the abandonment, vacation, and closure of the following street segment to wit Scott Street.
This is something y'all voted on back in August, and right after y'all voted on this, when previous attorney got sick. And when Billy come on as our attorney, he took over and finished this, we did the ordinance on this, and this needs to be, y'all approve the ordinance and do everything that we can take the sign off scot-free and get all that behind us.
I would like to apologize to Mr. Scott that it has taken this long, because we did vote on this back in August, and like Greg said, our city attorney was not well, and our new city attorney has tried to catch up, but very happy to vote in favor of this. I'm very happy for your family.
As I am.
Congratulations. Any further discussion, any questions for the city manager on this matter? Thank you, Greg. All in favor? Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll
I'm
make a
sorry.
motion.
We have a motion, can we get a second?
Yeah. Second.
We have a motion and a second. No further discussion on this matter. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, Mr. Scott. Okay, item number 9, consider for approval variance request for 965 Birch Street.
Mayor and council, the first, next two ones, so, 965 Birch Street, Mr. Kyle, he's wanting to, construct a carport on his existing driveway right now, and, as it stands, he would be, encroaching into the required 20-foot setback, by 13 feet. We've checked with Public Works, Water and Sewer, Electrical Department, and they will be way out of our easement or our right of way, so we feel pretty good in pushing for approval for this variance. It's something that he is needing, because he's also having difficulty with some of the drainage in that area, and Mr. Kyle has a few cars that he wants to try to keep dry. And if you notice that area, the way that the water runs down, and right through where it just makes a muddy mess every time we have a really good hard rain or a storm out there. So we feel like this is a justifiable variance.
So it's on Birch Street, where all that water stands back there coming down Raspberry. There's a lot of water that
Exactly.
stands all
Yes,
back
sir.
there.
It's right there by the canal, and his property
Mhm.
slopes from MLK, basically, from that front property on the corner, and then it just makes a nosedive back to that creek.
Okay. All right. Any questions for this, Mr. Chestnut on this issue? Okay. Can we get a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
We have a motion to approve. Can we get a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Item number 10, which is also Mr. Chestnut, consider for approval variance request, 1677 Suncrest Circle.
So this one that's over there on, Suncrest Circle, the previous house that was there, the owners, Birdlongs, they lost in a structure fires. They've been staying in the hotel ever since, trying to get, permitted, for replacement of the factory there. The movers, while they had some, I'm sorry. The Birdlongs, they went through a structure, they lost everything in a structure fire a few months back, and they've been staying in a hotel. And they've been going through the permitting process to place this manufactured home there. Unbeknownst to them, before the permit could go through all of the approval process, the movers tried to utilize good weather in between those last couple of weeks that we had all that rain to try to get this structure in there for them as soon as possible. And when they did, they didn't quite get it straight and centered where the initial installers had come out and marked it. What it did was it kind of set a little catty corner to where it's going to encroach on the side setbacks and some of the rear. And checking with Public Works and making sure that they were not going to be encroaching into any easements or right of ways, we feel like in an effort to get them back in their home and get them out of that hotel, that giving up just a few feet on the side setback and on the rear, it is justifiable, and we want this to be approved for them.
Thank you very much. Any further questions for Mr. Chestnut on this matter? Okay, Okay, thank you, Mr. Chester. Can we get a motion to approve the variance request for 1677 Suncrest?
I make a motion.
We have a motion, can we get a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this matter? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No opposed. Motion passes. Item number 11, approval, consider for approval, award an audit firm out of the received bids for the forensic audit. Council. You,
I'll make a motion.
make a motion
To award the bid to UHY.
okay, is everybody in favor of that?
Yes, I mean, yes.
I'm okay with it, they're all the same.
Okay. All right. We have a motion and a, can we get a second?
Yeah, second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Mayor,
Yes.
do we have a link? Do we need to vote on the link? How far they gonna go back?
Yeah. They only offer a 5-year or
Yeah.
13.
I thought we had did that. I thought you
We
did that
didn't look at
before.
them. We did not look at them.
We didn't,
You're right.
we asked them to give us
Oh,
options.
options, and then 1 year. Okay, I thought that we had said that we only, you guys said you only 5.
Yes, they did, give us a quote for 5 years, and then gave us the price for each additional year.
Okay.
Well, will 5 years go back? Like we wanted, we don't know, we don't know.
I think 5 years will cover it, and here's why. A worst case scenario, let's say that there's embezzlement. Embezzlement has a 5-year statute of limitations. So if there was embezzlement 10 years ago, there's no sense us looking for embezzlement 10 years ago.
Well, that's true, but if there were any controls that were missed that caused some of these mistakes, then the learning that we would gain from that history would be valuable, even if you couldn't bring a charge of embezzlement.
Oh, I'm not disputing that at all.
Yes.
I agree.
So it would be very educational, even if we didn't, but I'm fine with 5 years, if you two are.
5 years.
5 years, I'm good with
Okay.
that.
Good with that.
5 years? Okay. So the council thinks so. So we
And,
have
and Greg,
motion.
that's included, the things that we had listed, what they have wrote here.
We didn't look at them. When they
Okay.
come in, let's put them in the packet for y'all to look at.
Yeah,
And we'll
I think
discuss
that's
that
what
with
they
you.
quoted us.
Okay. Okay. So we have a motion, second.
Second.
Any further discussion on this matter? Okay. We have approval for, what's the name of the company, Ms. Crosby?
UHY Advisors,
And what's the price?
it's $99,680 for a review of years 1 through 5. It would have been a $12,460 increase for every year after that. So the total is $99,680.
A little more than our regular audit. Our regular audit is like around 76,000.
A lot affordable.
Two different kinds of bodies.
Two different types. Yes. Okay. All in favor? Yes.
I mean, the starting time frame, you go back 5 years.
Oh, when you want to start from?
2019 to 2023?
Huh?
2019 to 2023? Do y'all have some particular years?
Oh,
We're gonna do 5 years?
5 years.
So,
No, that's fine.
I say January 2019 to December 2023.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Or would you do it like fiscal year?
I didn't see fiscal year, I just saw year, but if it is fiscal year, then,
Well, I mean, that's how we
I
base
agree.
everything on.
That's a great
So
question. I
what that
think
means is
fiscal
it
year.
would start in October 2018.
18.
Yeah.
So that would be 5
And
years.
go through
19 would be
September
4
of
years.
23.
Yeah,
What month of 23?
September.
Yes.
okay, that's fine with me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We don't have to wait till October to get that, right? They go ahead and start.
Start next week if they want to. If we approve.
If once you approve it.
See when they want to start.
Yeah.
When I did talk to a couple of them on the phone during the process of getting everything, lot of them said they could be through by end of summer. If they started by May or so.
Yeah. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? No further discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously, there's no nays. Okay, item number 12. Consider for approval, agreement for temporary closure of state right-of-way for the Jasper County Cowboy Church Rodeo Parade. Item A. Item B, resolution authorizing the agreement between the city of Jasper and TxDOT for the Jasper County Cowboy Church Rodeo Parade. Chief Foster.
Anytime that Houston Street's closed for any amount of time, it's a state regulated highway, you have to get a permit. Normally, I just write a letter or an email to Brian, Mr. Broussard over there, and he just granted the permit. But Cowboy Church, since they're headed up this year, they went out there to get the permit, and for them to obtain it, we had to go this route and get a resolution, basically for us and the state saying we're gonna close it, and they have certain stipulations we have to meet. But it's the same thing we do every year, it's just another piece of paper that they're wanting.
All right. Any further questions on this matter? Can we get a motion to approve? We have a motion to Mr. McCroskey, and second by Mr. Sample. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 13, consider for approval resolution for catalytic converter grant program.
I think y'all have redone this about 2 or 3 times now. But since Cody has left the city, he was the program director on the grant, I have to replace him with something that can't be me since I'm already the operations manager of it, so I had to replace him with another person, so that's, I gotta send it back into him to keep that grant funded.
Okay. Thank you. Any further questions for Chief on this matter? Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
A second and a second. Any further discussion on this matter? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Item 14, consider for approval, waive the attorney-client communication to make the memorandum public from Frank J. Garza, Trulio, Ring, and Garza PC.
I'll make a motion to postpone.
I second it.
We have a motion to postpone.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have a second. Any discussion on this?
What are we
What are we postponing for?
Well, I made the motion to postpone because I feel we need to have a meeting to discuss this communication with our city attorney, and also, for us to implement any recommendations that this attorney made. This is not just a simple memorandum, this is an opinion from an attorney that we hired. I feel we need an executive session. I'm prepared to call a meeting on Friday so we can get together and get to work, and get, the JEDCO board, back together again. So, that's my reasoning.
So I have a question for you, but you said Friday, you talking about this coming Friday?
Yes, sir.
Good Friday?
Or we can call it Thursday, we can call it Monday, any day.
Tomorrow.
We,
No, you can't call it tomorrow, because you have to have so many.
Next Monday.
Next Monday.
The next day.
Next Monday would be good.
as soon as possible.
Yeah.
When we first received the opinion, I spoke with Mr. Moran and let him know that I would like to have a meeting as soon as possible for us to discuss the attorney's opinion, and no meeting was called. And so then it was placed on the agenda for today, so I'm making a motion to postpone, and the reason is because I feel we need a separate meeting with executive session to be advised by our city attorney, and to vote for appointments and, possible removal of board members.
Well, I figured that this what this was gonna be, but I guess since it wasn't put in the form of executive session, it's just to consider for approval. I was thinking all that was been discussed.
Motion to
In the
postpone.
executive
Motion
session.
to
I
postpone.
just figured that, I'm still speaking, please. I just thought it may have was gonna be meet in executive session to discuss all this. So, Mr. Moran, we okay with that?
I believe there's a motion to postpone that's been made.
Yes.
I think that, it's my opinion that, the council does need to convene in a, closed group to discuss the opinions of the memorandum.
Right.
and discuss what action needs to be taken, if any, in a closed session.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes.
Do we have a motion to postpone? Can I get a second?
Second.
Any further discussion on this matter? All in favor? We have one aye. Any opposed?
Mr.
Aye.
Chairman,
Excuse-
Aye.
Any opposed? We have two opposed.
Can I add one thing further?
Yeah,
Just,
no, I don't think he understood.
excuse me. The what? We had, you said yes, Mr. Hildebrand said no, and Mr. Sample said no. Let me ask you a
I said
question,
aye.
let me ask you a question, would you like to change your vote?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I wanted to find out, because she said she voted, and then you said, you didn't say anything when she said, but Mr. Hildebrand, you voted no?
I voted no.
Okay, so we have 2 for, 1 against.
just the other thing that I was gonna add was that,
Yes.
at the time that we have the, closed session council meeting, we'll also take action on, making a vote to, make this bid, or to make this memorandum, public
Public,
at that time.
okay, thank you very much.
Once we've all been able to sit down and discuss it as a council together.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have 2 for and 1 against. So item 15, are we gonna have the closed executive session with, Mr. Garza?
I have spoken with a couple of the council members. Nobody has indicated to me that they had any questions for Mr. Garza in regards to the opinion that he has given. I don't have any questions for Mr. Garza in regards to the opinion that he's given. I think that he pretty much laid it out pretty straight up.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have to have this portion
Okay.
of the meeting if unless anybody has any questions for him.
Council okay with that?
He's
Not
available.
having anything?
It is very straightforward.
So if we have any questions for him, he's available via Zoom at 7 PM tonight. That's why I had this put on there just in case we needed any clarification on his opinion. So that's what that is.
So if council's okay with it, we will not have the closed executive session if council is okay with that, unless they have questions with Mr. Garza, for us to go into executive session.
I don't think we need to go.
All right, we will not do item 15, so item 15. So, item 16, council discussion time. Any-
When would y'all like to have the meeting? Friday's a holiday, is it Friday?
We'll have, I'll let you know before the end of the week, but I can't do it
Can
on
I?
Friday. So,
Can I speak? I was prepared to call a meeting for Friday. I didn't realize that it was Good Friday. I'm fine with Monday. I mean, it's up to the other council members what they think as well. But I'm prepared to call a meeting as soon as possible. I wanted a meeting as soon as we got the opinion.
Monday sounds good to me.
well, you have Easter Sunday and Easter Monday, so hopefully everybody can be available then for
What
Good
time
Friday.
Monday?
Well, whatever time you can be there is fine. Whatever time you guys can be there.
Whatever time.
I have to be done before 6:30. I have to go to jail.
I'm sorry, you had to do what?
I have to go to jail.
So council decide what time you wanna do it
Do
Monday?
it
You wanna make it at noon?
Make it done.
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking council. You wanna make it at noon?
Yeah.
That's it. That's easier for
Yeah.
you guys as well. That's
That's
fine with
good.
me.
Very good.
Okay, we'll make it Monday. It is Monday. So we'll make it Monday, April 21st.
You here Monday?
Yeah, I'll be here on any executive session. I'll be here for anything y'all need.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
There's no further, action on, this item and no council discussion time. Motion meeting adjourned.